First, I want to just comment a minute about our gift. Charlene and I have always shared our resources. They never got much attention until they got zeros behind them. And then when they got a lot of zeros behind them, they get a lot of them. But we've always shared our resources, and we've always enjoyed sharing our resources. But on the gift itself, I'll share something with you very few people know, but the UT was in an overall campaign in which the amount that had been put to the business school of that overall campaign was $100 million. And the people working the campaign had gotten that about half allocated, and then they hit a stone wall. And so I get a call from President Faulkner, who said, Dean, May and I want to come over to San Antonio and sit down and brainstorm with you a little, because we've kind of hit a stone wall in our campaign with the business school. We got a good start, and then we're just not making any progress. So they came over, and just the three of us were sitting in my office, and so I threw out an idea here, this or that or such, and then I said to the dean, if you had $20 million, what would you do with it that would make me feel good that how you used it and what you're going to do? When he started telling me, he said, you mean if I had 20? He said, this is just part of the overall campaign. He said, I don't get the 20. I said, yeah, but what if you did? Oh my God. Well, he said, I never thought about that. I said, well, start talking. If you had $20 million with no strings attached, what would you do with it? And he begins to this, and that. I said, well, get a piece of paper, start writing it down. And it got to be pretty attractive. And I think President Faulkner was not too happy with me taking this lead, because he's like saying, hey, we're not giving the dean $20 million with no strings attached. So where are you going, Red? But I wanted to create something there in our little discussion of value. Like who would get excited about really doing this? And what would their money do? So in about 10 minutes time, the dean put together some really interesting things. So I buzzed my longtime assistant, Susie, and I said, give me so-and-so. And I had 3 names I was going to call. Now, all 3 of these guys could have easily done this. Easily done it. And each one that I called, I started saying, hey, look, I got a deal for you. And something that you're going to really like. And I'll tell you the end before the beginning. I want you to give $20 million to the business school at UT. And here's what we're going to do with it. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, Red, that sounds good, but no, that's not going to fit me. I'll give you $1 million. I said, well, I don't want $1 million. I want $20 million. Well, go get it somewhere else. I'm not going to do that. I tried that on 3 guys. Each one told me essentially the same thing. And these are good guys. And they're guys that support this school. But they could have easily done that. And I was beginning to get kind of angry. And so I say to the dean, now, if you had 30 million, what would happen? Then 40, and you see where the story going. What if you had 50 million? Well, hell, we'd own the world. All right, how long a time? What happened? Blah, 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 blah. So I turned to Faulkner and I said, if you're to get a $50 million gift, how much say-so is the dean going to have on it? Well, you know, we have our policies and procedures. Yeah, I know. Bureaucrats. And I said, well, we're not talking about all that BS. We're talking about if the dean gets to put out the list, and you'd have to approve it, of course, blah, blah, blah. And it began to get more and more interesting. And they had not asked me for any money at all. Just wanted ideas. How can we get this campaign off the ground? Because we had to raise another 50 million in this great universe out here. So I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Faulkner, if you'll commit to all that, I'll give the school $50 million with no strings attached. You see that these kind of things happen. And they were stunned. I mean, totally stunned. Like, you sure? So I went home and I shared that story with Charlene, and she said, honey, you did exactly the right thing. Now, not everyone has a spouse that is as concerned about all the things that you may be concerned with as you are. So don't expect it, because it's probably not going to happen, whoever your spouse is. But I happen to have a spouse that really believes that the world is great and the people are beautiful. And so we've made it that way for 59 years. It's worked pretty good. And she really believes in me. 100%. And she said, oh, you ought to do that. You call him back. Tell him you're going to do that. I said, I already told him. Well, good for you, honey. She grabbed me and kissed me. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So anyway, that's how all that came about. Now, I talked myself into it. That's not the greatest sales job in the world that somebody's done. But then when I saw what would happen with it, nobody had ever explained to me what they could do. Now what I want to do is to create a school here to where when you graduate, people standing in line to take you in their company. And you got your choice. It's not that you're looking to find somebody that'll take you. I want a line standing here to take you. But we're not there yet. But we're going to get there some way. And your being a part of this is going to really help it.